Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Carol Moulton coming to you once again. Tea time with Carol. Um, Hope things are going well. Welcome to the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and I hope it's a beautiful day for you. If it's not, make it so. Just you know what, wave your magic wand and make it so. It's okay. You can do that. You are more than capable of turning this whole thing around. Um, I prayed about what to talk about today, and a number of things came to mind, but what the Lord showed me was to talk to you today, and I'm not going to be before you long. It's not going to be a long one. But to talk about confidence, because I think sometimes we struggle. I have certainly struggled with it. Um, when I was practicing law, and I mean like courtroom work, I would get so nervous before going in, especially when I first started. Um, Law school teaches you all kinds of interesting things about, like how to analyze a case and how to present your facts and what's important and what's not. And they teach you all that. But they don't teach you, like, when you enter the courtroom to do a litigated case, where do you sit? How do you do, the mechanics of all that? And so I was left having to kind of fumble my way through, but looking marvelous, I must say. You never let them see you sweat. But anyway, this is about confidence. And if you're not feeling confident about a particular area of your life, whether it's, in relationships, or whether it's how you raise your children, or, how you move ahead at work, whatever the situation is, I think the answer is the same, any way you look at it. And so for the basis of our discussion today, I want to look at the book of Esther. And not sure if you are familiar with the book of Esther or not, but I think it's one of the more entertaining, if you will, books of the Bible. And I've gotten a lot out of, Old Girl, because I think it's particularly interesting on a number of different. It's a different kind of book, and there's sort of some manipulation and subterfuge that goes on that's not really talked about, but that's kind of is what's happening. But it's for a good cause, so it's kind of okay. Which is that's another whole discussion. We'll get into that at another time. But basically, what happens? The king Xerxes has put his first wife Vashti out. That's another that's another good one that we'll come back to at some point, because I have a whole different take on that. I've heard so many sermons being critical of Vashti, but I have a very different perspective on her. But anyway, we're going to talk about Esther. So the word goes out that the king is looking for a new queen. There is a Jew by the name of Malachi who sort of arranges for his, in interesting kind of ways, arranges for his niece to be placed in consideration. And so meanwhile, this manipulator in the kingdom is manipulating the king and has ordered an edict against all Jews. The Jews are like kind of like Black folks today. They are, Jews are the other, like Black folks are the other, and the people in the majority, oh, we don't want them around, oh, they're terrible, they're this, they're that, da 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 da. There are so many instructive lessons for us in the Bible. And things don't go well for those who, are talking about the other, identifying people that way. That things don't always go well for them. But Anywho, when you ignore the lesson, you're doomed to repeat it. Okay. Now that's a word right there. When you ignore the lesson, you are doomed to repeat it. And you're going to keep repeating it until you get the lesson. But anyway, Malachi convinces his niece to go into the palace, and she ends up, really being considered. She gains the favor of the king, but she has no confidence about this. She's a young woman, and she's like, hey, Unc, are you aware that we're Jewish and this is not really a cool thing for us, and you're asking me to like risk my life by doing this? And he's like, hey, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. So what I saw in this was there are certain powers that we have that you get to exercise if you choose to. And the first one is the power of preparation, because one of the things that happened um, when Esther was accepted into the palace, she didn't just go, up to the king and say, yo, I'm here, hey, choose me. There was a 6-month period where she was prepared physically, mentally, emotionally. I mean, she went through an entire process in order to before any kind of going before the king was even thought about. And so how are you, when you're looking to gain confidence about a situation, how are you preparing for it? You say you want to go back to school and you start dismissing, oh, I'm too old, I'm too this. Well, how have you prepared for that? Have you created space for that? How are you, what are you doing to prepare? So before you focus on the negative, start focusing on how you can prepare to implement this, whatever it is in your life. Say you want a boyfriend. Okay. How are you preparing to welcome somebody into your house, into your home, into your life? How are you preparing yourself? If you still dealing with Junebug and and them and Tyrone, and if you still kind of got some friends with benefits and you still kind of shucking and jive, they're not really what you want, but they're kind of making do for now, you are not going to attract what you want in your life. If this is what you want, if you want a real relationship, then it starts with you preparing for that. What does your house look like? Is it welcoming to anybody? And I'm not saying, somebody got to move in with you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if your house is cluttered, then energetically, there is no room for somebody to come in. And so hear what I'm saying, because I'm very serious about this. We want. We have a whole list. We had a Santa Claus list of the things that we want. But what are we doing to prepare for the things that we say we want? Okay, we could talk forever about, relationships, but I hope you get what I'm saying about preparation. Cut out if the relationships that you have are not serving you, then you need to do something about that. Either cut them all together or do it, but there's no half step. I mean, if you are determined that you want a particular kind of relationship in your life and what you have right now is not serving you, then cut it. There's no two ways about it. You got to cut it and be willing to spend the time. Esther spent 6 months just in preparation. Be willing, but you're like, oh, 6 months, I can't wait that long. Well, sis, if this is what you want, be prepared to wait for what you really want. Or, continue making do with, a around the way kind of person. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's preparation. Okay, so you want a promotion. I'll give you one last example. You want a promotion. Well, what are you doing to position yourself for a promotion? You know, are you coming to work on time? Are you turning your assignments in on time? Are your assignments full of typos? Are they, you know, things that you slopped together because you were tired, because you were up all night with Tyrone and them? I mean, what are you doing to position yourself for the next level? So preparation. Spend the time working on you before you start complaining. And this is all part of gaining confidence. Confidence. Start believe. Well, let me not jump ahead. Preparation. That's what we're focused on with that. You know what you want. We want to gain confidence about it. And so the first step is preparation. There's a lot of power in preparing to welcome in what you have determined that you want in your life. Then the secondly, or maybe this is first, I don't know. These are not in any particular order, is the power of prayer. The power of, putting your request. The word says, let your request be made known. So, and that doesn't mean with your girlfriends and them, let it be known to God, to Christ, to whomever you pray to, because we're not judgmental here. But you will gain confidence when you start articulating and really becoming clear. And prayer helps you do that. Prayer really helps you visualize and narrow your focus. And helps you gain confidence too, so your heart will be strengthened. You'll start seeing things differently. And from that, things will start opening up for you. Then thirdly is the power of practice. If you look at athletes like, I don't know, Serena, Williams, or Michael Jordan, or even Kobe Bryant, we saw them after, we saw them at the top of their game. What we didn't always see were the hours and hours and days and weeks and months of practice that they put in so they could be a GOAT, which is the greatest of all time, So to get to that level, there is something that you have to do then. This is part of preparation. You've got to be able to practice the skill that you're looking for. So what are you practicing? Are you practicing good habits? Are you practicing things that you want to invite into your life? What are you practicing? Are you practicing a lot of gossip? Are you practicing looking at shows that really don't, if you spend a lot of time looking at, like Real Housewives and stuff, that doesn't feed your intellect. It doesn't feed your energy. It doesn't feed anything. I mean, look if you want to. I'm just telling you, if you want to see positive things coming into your life, be careful what you're putting in. Be careful what you're allowing in, but be careful what you're absorbing. Be careful the friends that you're around. Be careful. That's all I'm going to say about that. So those are the three areas that we're talking about when you want to gain confidence. It's the power of preparation, the power of prayer, the power of practice. And to bookmark this story with Esther, she very successful when she went before the king, and there were any number of women that he was considering. He made her the queen, and Esther was put in a position where she could save all of her people, because she had gained the favor of the king, and he was dead up in love with her. So I mentioned this kind of in passing, but this is also important before I forget it. You want to visualize, before you get there, visualize your success. I think sometimes mentally we do this when you're driving and you're going to, I don't know, Walmart or your job or wherever. You visualize sometimes, all the streets you're going to turn on before you actually get there. Well, you can do the same thing when it's something that you want to see in your life, kind of visualize, you're already there. And your brain will think, oh, you've already achieved that. So the more you visualize something, the more real it becomes to you. And the less you'll worry about, what people say about it, or that you feel like an imposter or anything like that. It becomes very real, because whatever you feed your brain, the brain says, oh, okay, we've already done this. This is familiar. Because your brain can't distinguish between reality and non-reality. So feed your brain what you want to see out of it. Oh, and this is the last thing. Self-talk. We all have sort of a running commentary that goes on in our heads, and sometimes we're aware of it, sometimes we are not. It's just kind of there. And usually it's critical. It's kind of critical, like you make a mistake about something and the first thing you said, oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I should have known better. Oh, I do this all the time. How many times do you hear that kind of negative self-talk? Well, when you start becoming aware of it, then I'm so sorry. Then you can do something about it. Part of the negative self-talk, if you understand the brain and how the brain works. Wait a minute, I need a sip of water. I'm so sorry. The pollen has me like, oh my God. I'm so sorry. Okay, stick with me. Don't leave me. Okay. I'm gonna try to finish this. The negative self-talk. I think that's where it was. Oh God, I completely lost the thought. Oh Lordy, where was I? Da, 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 da. Well, basically what I'm suggesting is, become aware of your internal dialogue, the things that you're hearing yourself say, and it's just a thought. Oh, your brain does that. The reason for the negative self-talk is to keep you safe, because your brain sees everything as a challenge to your safety. And so it's the same as man in the earlier days, being challenged by man-eating tigers or something. And so your brain is always in a fight or flight kind of mode. And anything that challenges your safety is seen by your brain as life-threatening. There are different degrees of that, of course, but that's the reason, my point is that's the reason for a lot of the negative self-talk that you hear. And so your response can be something like, thank you for keeping me safe. I appreciate that, but I don't really need this right now, but thank you. I appreciate it. And then you're free to not feel like you don't have a choice. You see choices opening up for you because you're not locked into the negative self-talk. So with that, because the pollen has got me like by the throat, literally, we're going to end here for today. I hope that, this helps you start building your confidence in areas that you're looking to be a little bit more confident. And just remember the P's, the power of preparation, the power of prayer, the power of practice. power of visualizing and the power of reducing the negative self-talk. So I hope I forgot to welcome you in. I did pour the tea, but I did fluff the pillows. I'm saying this all late now because I was so anxious to get to Esther that I forgot to do my normal welcoming. So please forgive me for that, and just count it to my, charge my head, not my heart. But I certainly hope that things continue to go well. You can always reach out to me directly on Facebook, and send me a private message, if you like, if you don't want to post. And either on my page, Carol Moulton, or on the Tea Time page, which is also on Facebook, Tea Time with Carol. So to conclude for today, I hope that things go well for you for the rest of your day and your week, your weekend. And until next time, remember, everything you want is on the other side of fear. I love you. I'm praying for you. Well, I'll see you again soon. Take care. Love ya. Bye-bye.